Hi, I'm Dave. I told you they'd do it. I didn't believe them for a second. But Renault announced the Renault 5. This is back in the 70s and 80s, this was an iconic car, one of the best-selling cars in the world. It was a small hatchback, along the lines of even smaller than a Volkswagen Golf, and it was superbly successful. And they announced that they'd be launching an EV version of it at under €25,000, which is about £22,000. I said at the time they announced that there was no way they were going to do that. They were going to release this at 30,000 or above, and maybe at some point in the future come back with a budget version of it. So what have they done? They've just announced that the launch price for the Renault 5 is €32,000, about £30,000. Do they never learn? Well, Dave takes it on, has a look at this, looks back at some of his old videos and predictions, and sees what's going on and lets you know a little bit about what might happen into the future. Now, I had a go many times at Vauxhall Corsas. I have nothing against Vauxhall Corsas. I really don't. They are nice little cars, and that's what they are. They're nice little cars. If you go and buy a petrol one, they're £15,000–16,000. That's it. I'll deal in pounds. What they are abroad doesn't matter. They're a good little runaround, and for many people, that's a great car or an ideal second car. Good starter car. It's a great car. So when Vauxhall announced they were going to be making EV version of the Corsa, I predicted it would not be on sale at £15,000 or £16,000. And boy, was I right, because the starting point of that one was £26,000. The base model, 26,000. So let me just explain this in nice simple terms. The reason the Vauxhall Corsa was a massive success was because it cost £15,000. That's it. It's a cheap little car. People can afford it. It does everything they want. It's a brand new car. It's got an awful lot going for it. That's what it is. If you sell, or try to sell, a Vauxhall Corsa for the best part of £30,000, which one of the models was, base model was 26, I think it was, the top of the range was 30,000. If anyone tries to sell a Vauxhall Corsa at £30,000, you're not going to buy it. And the reason you're not going to buy it is not because it's not a nice car. It's a lovely car. What is going to stop you from buying it is for £30,000, you can get something so much better. You can, for example, get yourself a Peugeot 208. You can get a Citroen C4. You can get a Hyundai SUV. There's a load of cars on the market between the £20,000 and £30,000 price range that are big family saloons, very posh, with a load of goodies, load of features, everything. You can buy them for £25,000, £30,000. Why on earth would someone look at a Corsa, which is a base model, for more than that? And that's the problem that they had. And believe it or not, I was right, they didn't sell. They've now had to heavily discount the cars. If you go on Auto Trader, if you want a little run-around car, by the way, you can now buy a Vauxhall Corsa E, an all-electric one, brand new, unused. It's last year's model, but it's still unused. And I saw the first one of those under £20,000. Now, £20,000, that's getting a lot better. People will look at £15,000, £16,000 for a petrol one, £20,000 for an EV. Well, actually, if I can charge at home, I'm going to save over £1,000 a year in petrol. So actually, yeah, it makes sense to me and people will buy it. But at £26,000 or £30,000, they just won't. So when Renault have announced the Renault 5, they're just playing on this tradition. They're playing on the early adopters and they're playing on the diehards who, for them, the Renault 5 was the best car the world has ever seen and we should all have one now. So my predictions for Renault are really very straightforward. They've just launched it at €32,000, £30,000 for a Renault 5. Now, they won't sell it. So they're not going to sell. People are going to wait. There'll always be some. These are your diehards who really love it, and they'll buy whatever they make. And there'll also be some of the early adopters. Oh, it's a new car, I'll have it, don't care how much it is, more money than sense. So they'll sell some. But these are destined to end up exactly the same way as the Corsa. That's in the auctions and going off through Auto Trader, selling them off at massive discounts. So why have they done this? The answer is I don't know. You see, to me, I always look at things, and many of the viewers will know I look at things from a business model point of view. Now, if you have just seen that the Vauxhall Corsa and the Vauxhall Astra, both of them were released at almost twice the price of the petrol version, and both of them have not sold at all, a handful, what on earth makes you think that you can do it with the Renault 5? It's only the name. But I'd have to say that in the UK, Vauxhall Corsa's got a very good name. Vauxhall Astra's got a very good name. Renault 5, bigger in France than UK, but still got a good name. So the idea that some group sat around and thought we can sell these for €32,000 when had we still been making the old petrol version, it would have been 16, 17, 18,000 euros or 20,000 euros. I don't understand the mentality of these people. They just, yeah, here's a price, we think we can sell it for that, let's go and find, oh, we didn't, oh, it doesn't work. So what was the alternative? Well, the alternative was to say, if we have to sell them at 32,000 euros, we're not going to sell them. So what we need to do is not even bother wasting our time and effort making them. Let's just stop making EVs, or this particular Renault 5. Let's spend a couple of years getting all the supply lines organised, getting all the experts in, the programmers, everyone that you need to make an EV. Let's get a collaboration going, and Renault have got these with the Chinese, and get one of them in with us to help us with the software for the infotainment system or for the overall car. And let's spend a couple of years, and our sole ambition, our sole objective is to be able to make the Renault 5 EV for 20,000 euros. Because at 20,000 euros, that will fly out of the door every single day. They'll be making them, and as fast as they make them, they'll be going out the door. 32,000 euros, they're not going to go. They're just going to sit there. So you could just have a retranchement, they call it in France, where you just say, whoa, let's just take a breather, stand back. We can't make a profit on these under $32,000, 32,000 euros, and we can't sell them at 32,000 euros. So whatever happens, we're going to make a loss on these cars. We're either going to have to drop our prices, or we're not going to sell any. So what's the point in making a car that you know either you're not going to sell any or you're going to make a loss on? You'd be much better off saying, why do we have to sell this at 32,000 euros? It's because this bit of the process costs us money. This bit of this component costs us too much money. This process costs us too much money. So let's spend just a year, just a big think tank. How can we get these prices down to half what they are today? And Renault, believe it or not, has already announced this. They've announced they're working with a number of Chinese companies, and they have a target of reducing the cost of all EVs by 50% by 2027. That's, 3 years from now. So they know they're doing this. They know in 3 years' time, they're going to be producing cars that cost half what they cost today. My question is, what are they gaining by trying to sell those cars at 32,000 euros? And I can't come up with a sensible answer other than somebody says, if we make them, they'll buy them. Oh, what was that? Field of Dreams? Yeah, that might have worked, but this one didn't. It didn't work for Ford, didn't work for Stellantis, didn't work for Citroën, hasn't worked for anyone. No one has been buying these cars in numbers at 50% or 100% extra on top of the price of the petrol version. The lessons are there. go away, get your prices down, then go into mass production and launch it. But as I say, if you can launch the Renault 5 at €20,000, you're on a winner. That's going to be a world beater. 32,000, you'll probably sell a few hundred, maybe a few thousand. You won't get into mass production. So nobody listens to me. I don't mind. I'm just giving my opinion anyway. If any of you disagree with me, leave a comment down below. If you've got any better ideas, leave your comments down below. We'll explore it. But for now, thanks for watching. I'm Dave.